Hola everyone, it's Jackie from Scrapping Latina, and I'm here with my Ranger sale haul video. I wanted to show you guys. I have mixed feelings. I have my sign up here so that you guys won't see that mess. Basically, I haven't been up here all week. I mean, you guys know how that is. One week you can fit in 2 or 3 days. Other weeks, you can't come up at all. You can't craft at all. And this was one of those weeks. I didn't even touch the upstairs this week, my room at all. So this is basically the mess that you saw last week when I've been reorganizing. So I wanted to share my haul with you guys and let you know. It was super exciting. I got to meet Heather, who is the Paper Castle here. Hi Heather. And her mom. Hi Heather's mom. I'm sorry I didn't get your name. I apologize. I got to meet them, and I'm a long time fan of her channels because I just love especially her garage sale finds and her yard sale finds. I love that. She finds some great stuff. And then I got to meet some other people. When we first got there in the morning, there was this one lady doing a D-stash sale in the parking lot, which is an awesome idea. And her name was Maria. So hi Maria, thank you so much for the great prices. When I tell you guys how much we paid for this, you're not gonna believe it. I personally don't carry cash, so I wasn't gonna actually take a look at what she had because I always use my card, my debit card. I'm a debit card person for everything, and I know that's bad. I should always have a couple of bucks in my pocket, but I rarely have cash. And you know what's crazy, that I've taught, well, my daughter so far, because she's always carry a 20 stashed in your wallet or something in case of emergency. Can you believe that? So, which shopping doesn't constitute an emergency. So even if I did have it, which I probably did, I didn't even check my wallet, I would not have taken it out for shopping. But anyway, getting back, she had some really great prices, and one of the stuff that I purchased with this book, and I'll show you in a second, and some laces, but I purchased this thanks to my aunt, so thank you, Son. My aunt actually showed up, and a few minutes after me, so that was great. We were able to go in together. And then I met some people online. I met Lily and Chrissy. Hola, ladies. I met Maria. Maria, ¿cómo estás? She was really sweet to come up and say hello. And I saw a couple of people there. Anika was there. Anika came. The Coco Marta. What's up, girl? You guys know that's my girl. Miss Island V was there, and Brian Combs. If you know them from YouTube, they were there as well. And I didn't get to see a Pocono Pam, my girl. So I don't know if she showed up afterwards or not. I'll probably send her a message to see. But moving forward, that was the best part of the whole trip because we spent almost 2 hours online. I got there maybe about 7:08, 7:09, and they let us in, I think, like 10 minutes earlier, and they were supposed to open at 9. And so you stand online and you talk and you chit chat and you talk about crafts, you talk about everything, and it's great because for a little bit I'm not mom or wifey, I'm just Jackie, and I'm just talking about me, my crafting, my little hobby. And it was really cool, laughing and talking and trying to stay warm, because it was, honestly, I think it was 39 degrees when I left my house, and I live near a lake, so I think over there it might have been maybe 43. So it was cold. It was. I mean, my toes and my nose were frozen when I walked in, I think, because I actually stopped feeling them at one point. So it was cold. But that was the best part, I have to tell you guys, because that will bring me to my next point. This is my 4th year going to the Ranger Warehouse sale. My 3rd, 4th, I think it's my 4th. And I have to tell you guys that I have never, ever had such an experience as I did yesterday. These ladies, honestly, were out of control. And it saddens me to say that, because seriously, I did not think grown women would behave that way. Every other year we would go, and you walk in, and they let in like maybe the first 50 people, and you make the line, you go kind of like, they line up like tables, kind of like a U thing, and then in the corner they have like another U thing. So think of it as an open wide W. And then you would line up, and kind of go down the line. And I mean, this has been my past experience. If I saw something, don't mind this. This is my Tuesday morning haul. But if I saw something and I said, oh, I was like, you know, and I saw it and I grabbed something, like, okay, yeah. I would ask the next person, did you get this color? Do you have this? Do you need this? Do you want this pad? And I would either pass it forward. And I did that. I did that again because, like I said, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna let these ladies stop me from being who I am, and that's just who I am. So I was like, here you go. Or I would just move out of the way and say, okay, come on in here, get in what you know, come in, get whatever you need to get, you know, and just keep going. This time around, it was ridiculous. People were shoving, they were hovering over you, like leaning on your back, reaching from your hands. I had product in my hand, someone grabbed it. They would take stuff out of your bucket, like I put the bucket down, you know, if you put the bucket down in front of you so that you can look at something, because you know it's right in front of you, somebody would go in and grab from the bucket. One lady, actually happened to me twice, but this one lady in particular, there was a box. Now I did not look underneath the tables in those boxes that they had put on the floor because my back was acting up as it was, and honestly, if I did and someone leaned on my back and aggravated it more, I would have just lost it. So I didn't want that to happen, so I didn't even bother. But there was this one lady, there was a big box, humongous box, and it was underneath, and it had like a bunch of stuff in it. It had Perfect Pearls, it had tools, it had I don't know what you call it, but it's that by Claudine Helmuth, studio something. But it's like the felt foam that they use for like art, for stamping and stuff like that. And they had the one that you cut and foam, I think it's called. And then they had 7 Gypsies, you know, like a bunch of stuff in there. And people were going through them, you know, through Perfect Pearls, trying to see if they had one color, if they had this color, blah, blah, blah. And this lady, I had in my hand a Perfect Pearl that, you know, my aunt had said, or somebody, I think my aunt or Pat or somebody had said, oh, that's another thing I saw Pat and Pedro from last year. Hi, guys. It was great seeing them again. And this lady who comes in and says, oh, can I see what's in that box? And grabs the box and says, oh, I'm just gonna take the whole box, and drags it out from behind, from away from like 7 people that were standing there looking into that box. She just grabbed it and just dragged it out and took the whole thing. No joke, she emptied out the whole box, took everything that was in it. And I was like, oh my gosh. I just stood there with the product in my hand like, no, she didn't. Like, seriously? And I just, honestly, I walked away. At one point, I honestly just said, that's it. I'm done. There was a point, I went looking for 2 things, which was the dry stickles, I think that's what they're called, and the, and some stencils. I have one dry stickle color because my aunt gave me one, because she had a double, and then I found the clear rock candy. There was the other ones, as soon as they came out, they swarmed. They were like bees to honey, no joke. They like swarmed and just started like grabbing and pulling. People would taking stuff and just pull out like their shirt and pushed it right into their shirts. 2, 3, 4 of the same color, right into their shirts. Didn't even bother to share, to ask. Oh, it was just. And you know, I feel for those who went for the first time, because I was talking to a couple of people online when I was paying, and 3 of them, you know, they were together. Apparently it was like 3 of them together, and they said it was their first time. And I explained to them that this is not how it's been in the past, but that I personally most likely not go back. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I most likely would not go back. I don't like going through bad experiences because I figure it's not worth it. And I said to my aunt, I will not come back next year. When I'm annoyed, I put on my country music to soothe me. And yes, I love country, don't judge me. I was driving home, put on my country music, and it wasn't, I think, till the 5th song, no joke, that I started singing along, because I was like so annoyed when I left there. I made my first round, and then I came out, and I only went back in because I was looking for ink and re-inkers, ink pads and re-inkers for a friend. And I went back in and grabbed a couple of more things. And because, like, you know, like you say, it's a hit and miss. You know what I mean? You go and it's like whatever's there, you know, and yeah, they bring out stuff and, you know, you grab, but I mean, seriously, you grab 1 or 2, okay, even if you're shopping for a friend and stuff like that, but when you have 6 or 7 of the same thing and you grab it, I mean, there's other people that want the exact same product. A little consideration, I think, you know what I mean? So, you know, I went back in, grabbed a couple more things, and I said I have to go. And they were saying to me, "Oh, look, they just brought this out. Oh, look, they just brought it." I mean, they had craft core paper, there were stamps, there were stencils. I saw 7 Gypsies. I saw, I mean, they had distress markers, they had the distress paints, they had, it was just, I said, you know what, when they told me they brought it out, I said, no, that's okay, that's okay, I gotta go. I was like, I'm leaving, and I was like, that's it, I have to go, because if not, I'm gonna lose it here. So I just went and I got online and I just paid. And you know, I did get some other stuff thanks to Anika. She gave me some, and Pedro, you know, they were like, oh, here, do you want this? Because they went, oh, I just broke my mouse pad. You know, they were able to reach and grab something. So I was like, oh my gosh, it was just horrible. So that was a good meeting everybody, seeing everybody, really great. The bad, I tell you guys the truth, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It had some bad points today. That honestly was like, oh no. So that was the bad of it all. But I did get some goodies. I spent way more than I should have. I even actually got overcharged by $18. When the guy did the math, I've kind of like questioned it, because he said to me, this is how much it weighed, and then he said, you know, $6 a pound. So he's like, okay, blah, blah, blah. And then I said, okay, and then I went, wait, is that right? But they weren't using a calculator, they were doing like in their heads. And when I came home, you know, I said to my husband, tell me if I'm correct, this times this. And he was like, but you have a calculator on your phone, why didn't you do it? And I was like, because there was a line, I didn't want to slow down the line, you know. I'm like, but this times this is this, right? And he was like, yeah. And he checked it and he was like, yeah, that's it, why? And I'm like, I knew it, I got overcharged. And he was like, oh, why didn't you just double check? And I was like, because there's, you know, like I said, guys, there's a whole line of people trying to pay, and the more people that come out, the more people can come in, because there's a line outside. And as they let out, say 5 or 10, they let in 5 or 10. So I didn't want to keep anybody waiting, you know what I mean? And it was so funny because Maria, she called out, she said, Jackie, come out so we can go in and shop. And I started laughing. Loca. Oh, so anyway, okay, let me get started with my haul and show you guys. I did enough rambling, so if you guys stayed in this long, thank you, and I am so sorry about that. But the first Maria that I met, which was this stashing, then again, thank you again to my aunt Son. Thank you, I owe you $3, I know, honey, because she bought this for me, because she was like, come on, let's go look, and she was like, I'll pay for it, and give it to me later. So this is the Book of Us. It's a guide to scrapbooking about relationships, and it's really, really cool. It's by Angie Pedersen, and it's really, really cool. And they have a little bit of everything. I've already looked at it. They have minis, tags, layout pages. Isn't that cool? Look at this. This is like a crossword puzzle layout. That's really cool. And really, really cool. They had some really cool stuff here. There was actually something here that made me want to run upstairs and start. This is a tag mini book. Isn't that pretty? Oh, here it is. You can see this one. Sorry. Isn't it pretty? So anyway, this was only $1, and you guys know how much these books go for. Like, okay, here we go. In US, this book is $22.99. She sold it for $1. So thank you so much, Maria. And then she was selling 5 yards of lace for 50 cents. That's right, guys. 5 yards of lace for 50 cents. She had a whole big box, and again, I didn't go digging for it because my back was really bad, and so I only grabbed like 2 that were on top, and then we went on, and I went back again and grabbed 2 more afterwards. But like what was on top and that I liked, because I didn't want to lean down. They're basically all like this for me because that's what I wanted. This one has the mint green inside, this huge lace, and then I have it in blue and in a burgundy. This is a beautiful pink, white, and blue lace. Isn't that gorgeous? And then I have some for Christmas, which is green and white. And I have a hard time knowing how to use this, so I didn't want to get too much of it either, because I really don't know how to use these. I think you guys have heard me mention before that my biggest problem in crafting is that I don't know how to color coordinate. So that's why, you know, that's such a problem. So I'm gonna, wow, I yabbered on for a while. I'm gonna show a couple of things, and I'll probably have to come back for part 2. I found this. They had like a whole box of ephemera, you know what I mean, like I guess when they use them in samples and in shows, or you know, they would cut up papers and stuff like that, and they had a bunch of stuff, and I picked this up because I figured this would be really, really nice as ephemera, and I can actually cut these shapes out with my punches and use them. like on projects, you know, like I have punches out of this size, you know what I mean? And this is the old Jenny Bolin. And like here, this one in particular, look, this is, no, there was one in particular that I really loved. These are the buttons. So even if I cut like oddly shaped, but I cut a button out of that, that's really pretty. But that's not what I actually saw. What I saw that I really liked on it was, look at these butterflies. I can what do you call that? Fuzzy cut these and use them. Isn't that pretty? So I grabbed that. And then they had and I'll show you guys real quick. I just grabbed a couple of pieces of this. It's like kind of like rub-ons and stickers. So these are the journaling spots. They're actually called Red Label Strip, and it brings 4 labels. Jenny Bolin. So I grabbed one in red and one in brown. They had a rub-on silhouette and a rub-on, is that called damask? Yes, damask background in silver. So I grabbed that. I grabbed these craft frames, really cool. So I grabbed actually 4 of them. I thought that they were 2 of frames and 2 of regular shapes, but when I looked inside, it's actually the same thing. It was like out of place. So I actually ended up with 4 of the same thing. But they had tons of this. Like even when I left at 11:15, and there was like nobody left there. There really were like maybe like 10 people left. That's it. They had like boxes of this. So I grabbed that. Here's the other 2. This Pedro gave me, thank you so much. It's called Enameling Resin Clear, and basically I believe you heat it up and it bubbles up. And this is by Judikins. Super excited about that. And this alone has a price tag of $10.15. Now, like I said to you guys, I spent mega money and I should not have, because when I came home, I didn't realize that I had grabbed. See, when you first go in, I didn't know that you can actually take apart like the ink pads, because the year before, you don't just grab the 3 of the same ink pads, because you know it comes like already bandaged, wrapped together, and I thought that that's what you grab like 1 pack. Well, apparently afterwards I saw people that you could actually separate them, and you can, so I was like, oh, okay, they're allowing you to do that again, like you separate them. So I was like, okay. So if I had actually done that in the beginning, I wouldn't have ended up with 3 pads of the same thing or 6 re-inkers of the same thing and stuff like that, and I would have saved mega bucks. So I really did spend a lot more than I was supposed to. So I don't really see it as what do you call that, a plus for me, because I wasn't supposed to spend so much. But if I was to retail everything that I did get, then it would be way of a savings. So it's kind of a balance of it. This is a rub-ons. This one is called Photographer's Mark in silver, and I think half is already rubbed down, but even if I use like the other half, it'll be cool, like as a background. I found these wrapper blocks. These are, it's 2 different sets. This is the 4-piece and this is the 2-piece, and I grabbed this because of the Prima doll stamps. I think it would fit here, so I thought that'd be really, really cool. And then these to make like the big titles, and then this thin one here, look at that. So really cool, right? So I grabbed that. I'm really happy about that too, because I have my Dilutions one for my stamps, but this is a nice big one. So I found 1 stamp set, which was actually 1 pack, so there was actually 3 in here. I didn't know that. So I opened it up. What I did was I went through it, guys, and took out one of everything to show you guys, but there's some that I actually have multiples of, because like I said, you buy the pack. So I'll show you in a minute what I mean by that too, because that's exactly what happened with the, see, like this is 1 bag, see, so I grabbed one, and this is a 3-pack, so I don't think you were allowed to open it up and take one, so I took the whole 3-pack, like that. I found, these were the 2 Perfect Pearls that I was able to get from that box before the lady grabbed them. This is the pastels, and this is the jewels, and the only reason I got this was because my aunt passed them to me, so thank you so much, Sean, I appreciate it. Because like I said, when she was going in to get more, the lady grabbed the box. So I felt so bad for those 7 ladies. I mean, seriously, it must be like 7 or 8 ladies looking at it. This was 1 pack. This is these for like mixed media and paints and stuff, things you scrape on and off. So This was a pack, so I can share this with a bunch of crafty friends because there's like, I think, 20 pieces in here. And then I was able to find the patinas, so I grabbed one of each because I didn't have any. So basically what I wanted to get last year that I didn't get was there this year. So I guess next year, which I don't know if I'm gonna go back honestly, but they'll probably have what I wanted this year, which was the dry stickles and the stencils. So I grabbed one of each of those. And then see, like these ink pads here, I have 3 of this Emboss It tinted because it was a 3-pack, like it was taped together. So when I first went in and grabbed it, that's what I had grabbed. And then I have 3 of this, and I love this color, Magenta Hue Archival ink. Really pretty color. It's like a pink purple, really pretty. So I have 3 of those because of it. I found one of these Adirondack alcohol ink fillable pens, and then I found a pack of nibs. So this is the nibs for it. Found a pack of nibs. So these distress pens, when we were online the second time, the gentleman said he had to cut off the line because he was going to let in 25 people, and he had to cut it at me, and he said, oh, but I have a surprise for you, don't worry. So as I was waiting there, they said to me, oh, he's going to give you a surprise. And I said, oh no, he's going to give all of us a surprise. And they said, no, didn't you listen? You know, didn't you hear? He's going to give you one. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to get a surprise, cool, you know. I said, so I'll share. So everybody started laughing. And then he comes out with a bag of distress pens, and he says, okay, for you guys waiting, he was like, everybody grab a pen. And so we did. We started grabbing, which, by the way, Lily, I went looking for you inside so that I can give you my pen because I found it and I didn't find you, honey. So sorry about that, because I already had that one color. So I grabbed a pen, and I grabbed, it was, what color is it? Actually, I had grabbed, I think, like a sponge sugar or something, and then I switched with Chrissy because she didn't have that one, and she had worn lipstick, which was, so I grabbed, you know, so I had that one, and we passed the bag back, and like seriously, the last people online kept the whole bag of pens. I don't know, but yeah. So these 2 pens, and this was thanks to Pat. So thank you, Pat. He came out with a bag of pens, and so she grabbed them, and it was like maybe she grabbed like a handful, and it turned out to be like 8 of these vintage distress. So she gave me 2 pens, which worked out really great because my aunt lost her pen. She grabbed a vintage photo from the bag and she lost her pen. So this is one for me and one for my aunt. So thank you, Pat, for that. And then I'm gonna come back with a part 2 so I can show you guys the actual inks and daubers and stuff like that. Okay, thank you all for watching. Adios.